This was a young male, somebody who could get into the house and get out in that neighborhood without being seen.
Someone who knew the victim or victims, knew the layout of the house, knew how to get entry into the house. There was no indication of forced entry. No.
I don't think it was two people, because the more people you had going into that house, the more likely it is that they were going to be seen. So I think it's one male, young enough to have been in that neighborhood.
He had to be somewhat confident that
Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies starts now.
Welcome, Reporter Room investigators. My name is Jessica Della Davies. I'm an investigative journalist, and we have a lot to get into in this case. We're going to talk about a huge potential clue that we all missed, and we're going to talk about the top 6 things that law enforcement has withheld from us, and number 6 is massive, so please stay with me until the end. So let's get started. We're also learning that Kaylee's father, Steve, has come forward with a very vivid description of her wounds. I'm not clear on where he got this description from, but we also have learned that he has hired an attorney, and I'm wondering if this is to take some pressure off of himself. So I'm going to talk about this big clue we all missed and the top 6 things we don't know yet because law enforcement has withheld the information, and number 6 is huge, so please stay with me. Everything I'm sharing with you today is my opinion, and opinions are not facts, so please don't send any negativity to anyone. Let's be kind and good to each other. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up so I know you were here. All right, so the biggest clue that we have all missed so far is the fact that there is a ladder standing against the house. I have looked at these pictures of the house hundreds of times, and I'm just now noticing it. Is this how the perpetrator got in? And I'm going to talk about the 6 big things that law enforcement has been withholding from us in just a moment. But let's look at the photos of the ladder, because did the perpetrator use this to get into the home? Did he use the ladder to enter, or was this something that was brought out by law enforcement at some point? But here's the nighttime shot, so if law enforcement brought it out, why wouldn't they have taken it with them when they left? So law enforcement did collect a lot of forensic evidence, and we haven't heard anything about what they have collected. They've kept everything on the down low. If they have a primary suspect already, and I suspect that they do, they are not giving us any information to point us in the direction of who this might be. So why does it take so long for a case like this to be resolved? It's perfectly understandable that we all want to have a quick resolution, especially in light of how shocking this case is. But the reality is not similar to what you might have seen on like a CSI type of TV show. This crime is expansive. It involves multiple victims, and each room would be considered a crime scene. So it does take longer to investigate. Professor David Carter told The Independent, quote, "I understand the community's need and social media's need. We all want to know what happened. We want to know who the suspect is," end quote. However, he also said that a case like what happened in Idaho has numerous elements, and that the police need to be allowed to work through slowly and deliberately to get everything right. So, are they waiting for DNA evidence to come back before they bring any indictments? And let's talk about the 6 things that law enforcement has withheld from us, and number 6 is massive, so please stay with me. Unlike traditional DNA analysis, which can take weeks, rapid DNA analysis can take less than 2 hours. So it's reasonable to think that law enforcement may have some preliminary information, and that's why they're bringing people in to re-question them a second time. Number 1, who made the 911 call? Police still have not released the 911 call or revealed who made it. They said it was made on one of the surviving roommates' cell phones. The call came from inside the house, and that multiple people talked with the dispatcher before law enforcement arrived. 2, what were Ethan and Xana doing that night? We know that Maddie and Kaylee went to a local bar, stopped at a food truck, and got a ride home with a private party around 1:56 a.m. This is on the video where we have seen John Jack Showalter lurking in the background. But we still don't know whether Ethan and Xana were once they left Sigma Chi around 9 p.m. Is this relevant to the case, and is this why this information is being withheld? 3. How did the roommates sleep through everything? Law enforcement has told us that the two roommates who live in the house returned home around 1 a.m. on November the 13th. We know that they slept through what happened. They didn't wake until later that morning, and law enforcement has said that the roommates are ruled out. 4. Why did it take so long for a 911 call to be placed? All 4 of the slain students returned to the home shortly before 2 a.m., and the 911 call was placed at 11:58 a.m., hours after they got home. And police have released very little information about what happened before the 911 call was made. They've said that the 2 surviving roommates called their friends to come to the house because they believed that one of the victims found on the second floor had passed out and wasn't waking up. 5. Do the police have the DNA of the person who did this? They have not released much about forensic evidence collected at the crime scene. They have said the evidence is, quote, currently being processed, and that test results, quote, will be used by detectives to assist the investigation. At 6. Do police already have a suspect? This is huge because we know that the FBI sent 2 investigators along with the Behavior Analysis Unit to Moscow to aid detectives working on a profile of the type of person who would do something like this. Now, law enforcement have not released that profile to us, and the Idaho State Police spokesman, Aaron Snell, told Fox News in November that they would only be used to, quote, refine, end quote, the investigation. So do they know who did this? And are they waiting for that DNA to confirm their suspicions? It's worth noting that an analysis of the forensics can take some time, and a typical case with no surrounding factors can take anywhere from 6 to 12 months for results to be obtained. Let me know what you think about the ladder hanging out on the outside of the house. Well, I want to thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.